Sounds like I'm on. Yay. Do you ever have mornings like that? Good morning. You've been silent very nicely for so long, waiting. That's great. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. My name is Tony Fisher. I serve this congregation with joy and gratitude. This morning, I have a special gratitude for those present who are on the Friends Council of Planned Parenthood, and also some friends of those friends. You'll recognize some of the names here, as there are 7 or 8 members of the Friends Council who are also members here at UU. They've done a fabulous job of arranging, imagining, and planning for the exhibit that you see on our walls and for the 2 events that will be happening after the service and later on this afternoon with a focus on abortion. So thank you to those who have helped with the exhibit: Kathy Rippin, Dina Sewell, Jane Graham, Daryl Manning, Ann Fisher, Harriet Lancaster, Reem Iverson, Cedra Schiffman, Nancy Harrison, Daphne Whitman, Barbara Giolito, and Jill Gnezda. And thanks too to Sandy Baldwin and Karen Schmidt, also members of the Friends group, but not directly involved in planning for today, but important members that help make the Planned Parenthood Friends such a formidable organization here in Southwest Florida. I am also grateful for Michael Finkel as our worship associate today. Michael is a friend, I think, by marriage. Is that right?
A friend of Planned Parenthood. I don't know this guy. Maybe he's a brother from another mother. I don't know. Well, thank you, Tony, and good morning. I will add my welcome and share my joy in being here with you this morning. If you're new to the congregation, we're especially grateful you found us. Our hope is to make you feel welcome and help you find ways to connect. If you have questions about Unitarian Universalism or about this congregation, we hope you'll feel comfortable asking your neighbor in the pews or come on up after the service and speak with Tony or me. Our congregation's mission statement reads, "We are a welcoming congregation, freely seeking intellectual and spiritual growth. We strive to create a larger community of peace, justice, and love. We try to live our values in every encounter, whether here in this safe space or as we go about our lives in the world." Thanks again for joining us this morning. And now let's take a deep breath as we enter into our time of worship with this morning's prelude.
Do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave there your pain, your sorrow, or your joy. Bring them with you into this place of acceptance and forgiveness. Place them on the common altar of life and offer them to the possibility of our worship. Come then and offer yourself to potential transformation. Be and by the creative process that flows through you and all of life. Let's join together in the chalice lighting response you'll see on the screen or in your order of service. May the glow of this chalice symbolize the transformative power of love, the love we give, the love we receive, the love we are challenged always to remember and to share. And let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1000 in the Teal hymnal, Morning Has Come.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment's head together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
Please be seated. Though you might expect on this day when we are centering reproductive justice that our service would also align with that theme, but that isn't the case this morning. The forum after the service today, with its panel of exceptional women, the event later this afternoon, and most dramatically, the exhibit that you see on our walls here in the sanctuary and down the corridor, can do that far better than we can this morning. That's not to say we won't touch on the subject today, as you'll see in a minute, or revisit it another time, which we most certainly will. But our service today is about transformation, individual and collective transformation. In our services over the past 4 months, we have been exploring some of the new values-based language that has been brought forward in our association to try and articulate more clearly our Unitarian Universalist ideals. So far, we've looked at the values of generosity in November, pluralism in December, justice in January, and equity last month. And as we've done so, we have also reflected on how each of these values connects with the other and to the foundational value of love. This month, our theme is transformation, and next month, we'll focus on interdependence. More about that a little later. I think what's important this morning as we move through this service is that we recognize and remember that all of us are changing all the time, changing to our ongoing situations in life, our changing relationships, our changing understanding of the world. Sometimes that change comes easily, Sometimes it's hard. We go kicking and screaming. Sometimes we get stuck. Transformation is about moving through inevitable change in a way that allows us to see the world in a fresh new way and open to possibility. Most of us can identify a time in our lives that we might call transformative. We think about our adolescent years when our bodies and our minds were changing so rapidly. What a transformation that was. Well, guess what? Our bodies are still changing as we age, and that's a huge transition to make. How might we do that in a way that we hadn't considered before? Maybe there's a time in your life when you had an aha moment, when a light went on in your brain and it shifted you to a different path, a different course in your life. Maybe it was a period of time when you were learning great things very rapidly and you got to the point where you understood just enough to say, I want to do this forever. You might think of a time when you realized that you were ready to commit your life in relationship with another person and how that changed your perspective on the world. Or perhaps there was a moment of transcendence when you lost yourself in communion with the universe or with God or whatever you understood as being greater than yourself, and in that moment realized that you needed to find a way of living and relating to the world that more closely aligned with that deep connection. Some of our most profound experiences, though foundational, are difficult to explain. What about the times of despair, when you didn't know what to do, when you were a bit lost and then found a lifeline or perhaps an inner strength that you didn't know you had that opened you up to transformation? That's the story of Ana Patricia Castro Argueta, whose photo and story is on the back wall of our sanctuary this morning. Ana wrote, "Lately I've been thinking how vulnerability is a source of power. I felt so intensely vulnerable at the time of my abortion and the aftermath. I was reminded of the grace that it takes to put yourself back together after feeling so immensely crushed. What makes you strong," she wrote, "is the ability to acknowledge difficult moments and embrace every feeling that they give you. What makes you strong is the ability to acknowledge difficult moments and embrace every feeling that they give you. The awareness that those moments change you in a way that allows you to see things in a way that you have not seen them before. That is transformation." That's the subject of our service today. And right now, Michael has a story and a reading that illustrate the harmful possibilities of getting stuck and the transformative power of choice.
Why is it so important? Why is the power to choose so important? Well, the lack of choice affected my paternal grandmother's family. In the 1920s, one of her married sisters was pressured by the husband to have an unsafe abortion. The sisters debated this and decided to support their other sister in this decision. The brothers weren't told. The abortion became septic and my great-aunt died. One brother was a medical student and he was furious that his sisters had gone along with this, knowing full well what could have happened did happen. The siblings' relationships never recovered over the next 60 years. A safe, medically supervised abortion could have saved her, but these were illegal then. As a medical student in 1971, I saw a 13-year-old girl deliver a baby one day, who was the father, and then a 40-year-old woman with children who came in with a septic abortion. She couldn't handle another child. And earlier this morning, one of our other colleagues here told me about her experience in Bellevue Hospital in New York, where they had one ward with 26 beds for women with septic abortions before Roe v. Wade. Well, Roe v. Wade passed in 1973. My OBGYN colleagues have told me they never saw a septic back alley abortion after Roe was passed. My observations are a microcosm of what has happened in our society before Roe, during Roe, and after Dobbs. For a macroscopic discussion, let's turn to the thoughts on the power to choose by the Reverend Dr. Parker. This is an excerpt from her 2004 sermon, For All That Is Our Life. The power to choose. Why does it matter that women's reproductive choices be protected? Because we live in a broken world where life is at risk in many ways. The power to choose is the power of life in the midst of brokenness. Without choice, tragedy, impasse, and despair are the last words. With choice, creativity, responsibility, and possibility enter the conversation. With choice, human beings enter into fuller personhood, becoming creative agents in the world who can transform life in the direction of greater justice, safety, and joy. A society in which human beings accept that life and death are in their hands is a better society. Embracing creativity and responsibility is a spiritual value that applies beyond the questions of pregnancy and childbirth. To know that we have choice is to know that life is not predetermined, that we do not have to comply with established structures, rote patterns, or the dictates of despair. It is to know that we are not helpless in the face of overwhelming events. We all need the spiritual knowledge that life and death are in our hands, and we need to do the hard work of ethical discernment, of accepting that life and death are ours to choose. Why should we march to keep abortion safe and legal? Because where there is choice, there is life. Where there is life, there is hope. And where there is hope, we find ourselves holding bundles of joy in our arms. Each of us bears in our own bodies the power of holding on and of letting go.
In the great hymnal, Blessed Spirit of My Life.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
We had a wonderful memorial service yesterday afternoon for Richard Caden, a very small but just fabulous service on the pavilion. Richard, if you don't know him, was just a warm and caring and loving individual who graced this congregation for a number of years and then had to stay away because of his health for some time. So many of you didn't meet him, nor his partner Jake, but we miss them both. Jake passed away in 2022. We have two additional memorial services coming up, one for Maureen Armour on the 23rd of March, and one for Nora Wojcik on April 8th. We hold their families in our love and in our thoughts as we move towards those dates. All of us know the pain of loss. All of us understand what it means to feel down, to be depressed, to need a helping hand. And that's what this community is for, and we do it so well. All of us also know great joy, and it's a wonderful place to share our joys as well. We come together every week and offer this time especially for sharing of joys and sorrows, those personal joys or sorrows that you do want to share with the larger community, not a time for announcements or events. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you'd like to share, please raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone. Tell us your name and briefly what's in your heart.
Good morning. My name is Jerry Manning. A good friend of ours, my wife's and myself, lost his best friend yesterday. And so I am sharing the sorrow at this point at the loss of this, my friend's friend, but also the joy that this friend brought to the world.
Thank you, Jerry.
Hi, I'm Harriet Lancaster, and I think I'm going to introduce to you Sarah Parker. Is she here? Okay, Sarah was supposed to be here. She's on her way from Sarasota. She'll be our afternoon speaker. I've not met her yet, only by telephone and text, but I hear she's a wonderful speaker.
Thanks, Harriet.
My name is Jane Graham. I have both a sorrow and a joy. My daughter's very good friend passed over the weekend from cancer at the age of 46. This is my daughter's second friend to die of cancer in her 40s. So that was a huge crushing blow. But my joy is that Stephanie Fram is my house guest for the weekend. And we will be hearing from Stephanie during the forum. Thank you.
Thanks, and welcome, Stephanie.
I'm Patty Bryan, and my celebration is that my granddaughter Phoebe, who is a junior in high school and a rower, she just got a tentative acceptance to Brown. Yes. As long, tentative means as long as she doesn't screw up. And I'm certain she won't.
Thanks, Patty.
Hi, my name is Gail Niels, and I'm very pleased today to have my lifelong friend, Joan Wolstein, visiting from New York. We went to school together for 13 years, but after that, she became one of the New York City experts on housing, and then after she left that, she became the head of New Yorkers Against Gun Violence. So I hope you'll welcome her, and I'm thrilled she's here.
Welcome, Joan. Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Stadler, and my joy is my son, Wolfie Stadler, who's been a part of this congregation, was applying to high schools, and he was accepted to St. John Newman Catholic School, although we're not Catholic, but we're really proud that he got in because he had quite a learning journey. And then I just want to note that his application was filled with all of his experiences here at UU, and I think that really, really helped.
That's great.
Hi, my name is Beth, and I have a joy and a sorrow today. I'll start with a sorrow. My father slipped on ice and broke his back. So he had surgery 2 days ago and is currently recovering, is in a lot of pain. So if you pray or have well wishes for him, his name is Jeff, and I would love for you to send that positive energy his way. And my joy is that I am celebrating 2 kids' birthdays over this weekend. My son turned 11 on Friday, and my daughter turned, her name is Amelia, she turned 8 today. So happy weekend for us. It's very
great.
exciting.
Thanks, Beth. Steve?
Good morning. I'm Steve Frediani. I have a couple of joys this morning related to my young kids. My 5-year-old Harry played his first t-ball game yesterday and really loved it. And then our little guy Rob, who had his naming ceremony here about 14 months ago or so, he turns 2 tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve, very much. We love having them around. Thank you so much for your sharing, both the joys and the sorrows. We know that those things, those joys and sorrows are all woven fine. We don't have our joys without some of our sorrows. So grateful for what's been shared. We also honor those joys and sorrows that remain unspoken in this room and on the pavilion, and for those of you watching out there. We hope you know that this is a safe place to share. Let's join together in the spirit of meditation. Spirit of life and love, God of our deepest understanding, our lives move in so many different and mysterious ways. And yet here we are together in community. All that we have been separately and all that we are and will become together is stretched out before and behind us like stars scattered across a canvas of sky. We stand in this moment on the brink of the future, on a precipice, contemplating the time ahead, arms locked together like tandem skydivers, working up the courage to jump into the next moment. Tell me, friends, what have we got to lose? What have we got to lose as we move forward together? Our fear of failure? Our mistrust of our own talents? What have we got to lose? A poverty of the spirit? The lie that we are alone? What wonders await us in the space between the first leap and the moment our feet, our wheels, or however we move our bodies across this precious earth touch down softly on unknown soil? What have we got to lose that we can't replace with some previously unimaginable joy? Grateful for the spirit of community that has sustained us, enlivened us, and enabled us to reach this moment. Let us offer each other the courage in our leaping and the gratitude in our landing. And let us share in the joy of our continued ministry together. Thank you. One of the hallmarks of liberal religion and Unitarian Universalism falls well within that category is the idea that revelation is not sealed. That is to say, our religion is and must be responsive to the discovery of new or revealed truth that come to us from many different sources, drawing upon sacred and secular scientific understandings that help us make meaning and live into our values. At its core, then, from its beginning, our tradition has proclaimed an abiding openness to change and transformation. From our early roots in Unitarian and Universalist Christianity, through the blossoming of humanism and ongoing dialogue with scientific developments, to the reemergence of a sense of spirituality and creative interplay with humanism, process theology, liberation theologies, and religious naturalism, Unitarian Universalism has tried to evolve in the context of a changing world and in response to new insights from an ever-widening circle of voices and perspectives. In a very conscious way, right now, the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, of which we are a part, is working intentionally towards transformation, not just because we want to, but because we need to. Because we have not, as I alluded to last week, lived fully into our ideals of diversity and inclusivity, of justice and of love. There's a long history we could call on to document this lacking, but this particular attempt at transformation actually began back in 2012 when a proposal was made to add an 8th principle to our existing 7 principles, part of our association's purposes and principles that you can find just before the first hymn in either of our hymnals. That proposed 8th principle very simply called on us to a greater intentionality and accountability in our work to dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions. The proposal has created some good conversations, and actually a number of congregations voted to adopt the 8th principle, but it never quite reached the national stage. Change is slow. And 5 years later, in 2017, a major hiring snafu at the national level revealed that change had not progressed fast enough or far enough. The result was that a number of our association leaders had to resign, and a commission on change was established to look at our organizational norms and structures to see how we might bring them more closely into alignment with our stated ideals. In other words, how we might better walk our talk. In line with this goal, there was also a growing sense throughout our movement that we needed a new way of telling our story, of telling the world who we are, new language that would speak to this moment in time and also to a new generation of Unitarian Universalists. Our current principles and purposes were established back in 1985, and the world has changed quite a bit since then. All in all, I would give our association good marks over the last 17 years for the ongoing organizational changes at the national level, and the process of creating new language that more clearly articulates the foundational values we espouse, while not perfect, has also been good. Thus, our wider Unitarian Universalist community has gone through some difficult times and has responded in positive ways that open up the possibility of transformation. And in a way that mirrors the openness of our tradition as a whole to change, Unitarian Universalists also understand that none of us are fixed in our beliefs, in our capacities, or in our ethical orientations, nor are our congregations static institutions. We are always learning and growing individually and collectively, never perfect, never finished. We pay attention and learn from our own experiences and to what's going on in the world around us. We reflect on these things intellectually and spiritually, individually and collectively, perhaps coming to a slightly altered worldview when we talk together. And we act on those new perspectives to see how they fit as we wander about in the world. And we repeat this cycle over and over, learning and growing and changing. Learning and growing and changing. Our religious communities at their best are places where we build on our capacities to respond to change in healthy ways, in ways that open up possibilities for growth and transformation. So we'll be exploring transformation in our services this month, and in a couple of weeks we will gather as a whole community to seek some clarity about who we are today and where we want to go together as a community. I am certainly in agreement with our Board of Trustees that now is a good time to stop and take the longer view.
On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star you'll feel part of, every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a word you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever and ever and evermore.
Good morning. It's great to see so many smiling faces here in the sanctuary and out in the pavilion. And I take it on as an article of faith up there in the ether. I'm here today to encourage all of us to think about our future. In doing so, I'll share a reflection about the impact of crossing rivers. It's a combination of a personal reflection, a historical one, and a contemporary reflection. Hopefully, I can weave them together to make a statement. The winter of 1977. Maybe you weren't on this planet yet, but many of us here will remember. That winter was horrifically cold and snowy. Most of North America, even in the deep south, was locked in a new ice age. The recent polar vortex was a spring breeze in comparison. Massive snowfalls, relentlessly bitter cold temperatures well below zero. Schools were closed, and there was no remote learning in those days. Commerce came to a stop, no Amazon or eBay or DoorDash. Mass transit ceased with no Uber or Lyft. There was no choice but to shut down under nature's mandate. Nothing moved because nothing could move. At that time, after a year of a budding long-distance relationship, my then girlfriend and I decided to shack up together in northern Kentucky town, right across the Ohio River from Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, this begs the question, what happened to that then girlfriend? Well, 47 years, 2 children, 4 grandchildren later, we're still shacking up, but now in Naples. Miracles happen, folks. We still hold hands when we walk together. So thank you for your love and endurance, Missy. In the midst of this ice age, another miracle happened. The Ohio River froze over. This massive, mature river, and envision this, a half-mile wide, a quarter mile that direction, a quarter mile that direction. 15 feet in depth, which would be about halfway up those windows up at the top, in a drought. 80 feet in depth at peak flood season. This 981-mile river carved its way through 14 states, and yet that massive energy froze over in Cincinnati. Strong, energetic rivers like the Ohio do not freeze over like a lake or pond and make smooth skating. Freezing is a more violent process created by thousands of collisions of ice, bits small, bits big, working from the shores to the center and entombing the river. It wasn't like those Dutch master oil paintings of the idyllic meandering river and the townspeople in the wintertime out skating upon its frozen expanse. But nonetheless, the Ohio River was walkable. So on a frigid, calm morning, I ventured down to the banks of the Ohio River to witness the miracle. A river that I swam in, fished, and boated now lay still as a jagged white expanse. The sounds of the city were quieted. There was no noise of traffic on the bridges. It was an eerie experience, the silent city glistening in the bright whiteness of sun, snow, and ice. The crunching of ice crystals under my feet with each step. The muffled moaning of the deep water beneath, the ice following its nature, still rushing to its gravitational destiny of the Gulf of Mexico. It was surreal. As I reached the middle of the river's expanse, I paused, and somewhat akin to this frozen bridge spanning 2 distant shores, I experienced an unexpected bridge of time between the past and the present. Now, no, I grew up in the midst of the civil rights movement. My father was a liberal Presbyterian activist minister in eastern Tennessee and Ohio. I remember one night as a 3-year-old in Greenville, Tennessee, hearing commotion outside and looking out my second-floor bedroom window, seeing 2 crosses burning in our front yard. With our dad and our mother's blessing, my brother and I went to demonstrations and protests and marched in Atlanta with 100,000 others in memory of Dr. King's life, work, and love. We grew up knowing all people are equal. And yet, at that surreal, serene scene, a new understanding came upon me. I felt more deeply the desperate effort of enslaved people leaving everything they had known, traveling at night, cold, hungry, trusting to strangers, always fearing capture or worse. And finally, many would reach this same southern shore of the Ohio River. Cincinnati was their destination. The city had become a passageway for the Underground Railroad. This powerful, expansive river was their final barrier and their final gateway to freedom. When they crossed this final river barrier and they stepped upon the shore of the free North, they began a transformed life. It would not be an easy life. The future was very uncertain, but it was their future and not their former masters. And for us today, we stand on a distant shore. We have crossed the pandemic river. For 2 years, we were separated and at times desperate as COVID-19 ravaged the country and the world. The currents of COVID pulled at us relentlessly. We suffered loss with illness and death in our families, with our friends, within this congregation. The normality of life was gone. We were uncertain of what lay ahead around each bend of the river. We were fearful. And much like the way the virus attacked the body's weakest parts, COVID was an accelerant, attacking our social and cultural weaknesses. Our differences became deeper. We became more fragmented, more adversarial, less trusting. The world about us changed. We have changed. But though physically separated, we stayed together as best we could, virtually and within limits physically. We held together as a congregation, as a community of love. We have survived the panic's viral currents. We have crossed that river, and our feet are planted firmly on a new shore. And we are rejoicing in being together again. The question now before us is, what will we make of our future? River crossings have an impact, sometimes transformational ones. Who shall we be on this new shore? And of equal importance, how shall we be? I submit we are stronger, more resilient, and more capable. Peace, justice, and love. Simple words that hold so much truth. Peace, justice, and love. I invite you to come together on March 16th to envision our future. Who shall we be? How shall we be? The call of peace is hopeful. The call of justice is powerful. The call of love is enduring. Let's gather and dream together. Peace.
Well, thank you very much. This congregation has so much to offer: wonderful programming, engaging worship, excellent musical offerings, a fabulous staff, this great facility, this wonderful garden, not to mention a community of people, that would be you, with whom, and you guys up there, with whom we share our lives and journeys. Grateful that the gifts of those who came before, honoring the time and talent of so many of us who make things happen each day. Hopeful for a future that reflects our dreams. The morning's offering for the ongoing work and mission of this congregation will be gratefully received. If you are watching at home, please consider sending in a gift. The information you need is on your screen.
And just a quick translation of the text we're about to sing in Hebrew. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens have peace descend upon us.
Thanks again. Beautiful. A few reminders of what's going on today and for the week. On our walls here in the sanctuary and down the main car, we have this incredible exhibit titled Focus on Abortion. Americans Share Their Stories. These portraits with accompanying stories are of individuals whose voices are often missing from the national conversation. Women who have had an abortion, or people who are close to the abortion experience, including partners and professionals who provide abortion care. Following our service today, we have a forum entitled Enough is Enough, Reclaiming Reproductive Freedom, with a panel of 3 incredible experts from Planned Parenthood. And later this afternoon, we'll be hosting a different program and a reception for the exhibit from 4 to 6 p.m. Is this still open for registration among members here? No? Bring your name tag. If you have registered, please bring your name tag so we can more easily identify you as you come in the doors. As you move down the hallway and into Menaker Gallery, you'll see a new art exhibit by local artist Sandra Yayadi. It's an incredible exhibit of images. I've taken a look, and Sandra's exhibit will be with us for the month of March. So please wander a little bit past the Focus on Abortion exhibit and check that out. Next Sunday, we'll have another great forum with our own Brad Cornell talking about the climate and biodiversity crises and what we can do right here and now in this community. So I hope you'll join us then. And now, let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn. It's number 346 in the Gray Hymnal. We often use it as an opening, but today, we hope you'll come dream a dream. The words are on the screen. Come sing a song with me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and the rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Love is a spirit that moves and inspires this tradition we share. Guided by the wisdom of ages, by science and poetry, we continue our ongoing search for truth and meaning, open to transformation. In community, we bring our individual lights together to create a beacon of hope as we work to build that wider community of peace, justice, and love. Go in peace. Go in love. Have a wonderful day.